KSW.
I was in that relationship, bro, and I didn't know anything else. So once I get out of it, I realized, man, you guys are cool. You know, she was in here, she'd leave and say goodbye to you, and then F them.
I'll tell you, Hulk, from reading the book, it's interesting because what you said is that, until death do us part. And what I find, from a lot of successful people who are warriors, one of the toughest things for them to do is to surrender. Because sometimes you got to, and it really feels like your relationship, you needed to surrender because it was killing you too and perhaps killing her. And that's probably got to be one of the toughest things for you to do, brother, is to tap out.
I don't know how much you know about all this stuff, but what you just said is the most powerful thing. This is what I have in my arm. I am that I am. That's what God said to Moses when Moses saw this burning bush was on fire and it wasn't burning. And Moses said, man, what's shaking here? What time is it? Who is this? And God said, I am that I am. And that means God is in you. God is in you. Believe it or not, God's in Jimmy.
Yeah.
And
what about me? Is God in me?
Yeah, He's in you, bro.
I said my prayers.
That's it, bro. And God says, man, if you don't say my name, I'll command the stones to shout my name. That means God is everywhere, bro. And once you surrender, that's the most powerful word I've ever heard any radio guy say. Once you surrender, that means you give up to the oneness, that it's not me here and you there. We're both the same, brother. When I touch you and I touch this, the molecules, we're all one. There's God everywhere. It's one. There's no separation. Once you surrender and you realize that, well, then you realize harmonically we're all one. And then you forgive people. Like, I forgive my ex-wife. I've forgiven her 18-year-old boyfriend because I don't want that negative crap in my spiritual structure. And that word surrender is so powerful. That's the most powerful word you can use to sum this whole thing up.
And it seems like, go ahead, Steve.
I know we got to get going because you got to go on to the next thing.
Oh, man, I'm tired of talking about this stuff. Let's talk
about wrestling.
TNA wrestling, man. I'm getting ready to spank the wrestling world, brother.
I got to tell you, I am a wrestling freak. I've grown up watching. My mom was in tears when I told her I was going to get not only meet you, but the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, because she used to take me to wrestling matches at Nassau Coliseum at Madison Square Garden. Hell, look at this. My girlfriend was Hulk Hogan.
No way.
And I was Roddy Piper this past Halloween.
I know you did a job for her, brother. You went down on your back for her. I can see that.
Hulk-A-Mania went wild for me.
Yeah, well, what's so cool, man, what's so cool is when I snapped out of this thing, I couldn't even work. I was so messed up. I'd work pay-per-views once in a while. Vince McMahon would call me when he needed a main event. I would leave when my wrestling, like, I'd be sick just to walk out because I figured I need to stay and fix it. And, you only wrestled 15 minutes and you made $1.5 million. Is that all you made? I mean, it's like, I couldn't do anything. So at the end of the day, I couldn't work. So what's happened now is since I snapped out of this thing, bro, I've surrendered, like you said, and I'm at one with all this stuff, and I'm cool. I'm not a Bible thumper, bro, but I understand it, And at the end of the day, now I can go back to work and be cool about it. And one of the first things I did was I told Jimmy, bro, I can go out and do all these different things, but that's not what I love, man. I love this wrestling business.
Well, surrender is in a lot of texts, a lot of people's sacred texts, a lot of philosophies. Whether you believe in one thing or not, surrender is a common theme to a balanced life.
You're right, bro.
That's a great message. A guy like me, I was on the other hand, I surrendered a lot because that's how I had to survive in my family. I had to learn how to win. Like, I look at a guy like you and go, I got to look what he does because he knows how to win. I knew how to give up because that's how I stayed alive. But there is a balance. And Hulk, we were told we got to wrap it up. I could stay with you all day.
Oh, man, I don't want to go. Why do I have to go? I just got here.
I know, man.
Damn straight.
But I don't want the publicist ever to get mad because you.
Oh, hell with the publicist.
The hell with the publicist.
We'll keep you here as long as you want, man. I mean,
Hulk-A-Mania's running wild, brother.
But that's cool, man. But that's what I'm doing is I'm getting back in the wrestling business.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I signed this deal with TNA to help run this thing and help get this company up. It's kind of like what I did back in the 90s with the WCW.
Is Eric Bischoff going to be a part of it?
I'm talking with Eric right now, bro. He's right next to me. I'm reeling Jimmy Hart, and he doesn't know it yet.
Oh, come on, Jimmy!
Because I love Bischoff's book, man. It's just a fascinating read.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. So we're getting ready to light it up again, man. It's all good stuff,
Hey, can I say something real quick about the power of Hulk-A-Mania? I called Hulk on one of the satellite phones. I was in Baghdad this past year. Last year, Afghanistan. I took Brian Knobs with me, Nasty Boys, Greg the Hammer Valentine. We were over doing it for the USO doing autographs. Black Hawk helicopter took us way out to one of the smaller FOBs. We go to the Stryker tank division. The guy goes, Jimmy, can I talk to you? I go way out. Matter of fact, I was worried about the IEDs, so I stayed in those tank tracks all the way out, by the way. But as I got up into the tank, the guy looked over in the back, and he had a red and yellow bandana. Then underneath it, he said, listen to this. And he had a little tape machine. And they said they play it through the speakers as they go through the cities. But it was I'm a Real American. The song Real American. And I called Hulk on the satellite and I said, brother, get your head out of here. You know what? Because they love you everywhere, even in Baghdad.
Yeah, but it's cool, man. I'm back on track, man. And it's a great thing, man. And it's it's just all, I'm not trying to beat anybody up with this stuff, but I just realized there's a bunch of natural laws that I didn't realize. I was so unconscious, just like the law of gravity is working all the time, whether you think about it or not. There's a real natural law called the law of attraction, and it's not like the snake oil thing. I'm going to go over there and break his finger, man.
Please do.
Yeah.
We hate him.
Yeah, but he's, you know what, Hulk, he's wrapping it up because we want to do it for your people. We could, Hulk, I could be a real jerk and say, I'll forget everybody else and keep you here, but I want to be respectful to everybody. But I can keep you here until the end of the show.
All I'm saying is once I realized that there's this crazy law that we can use, and it's not like a snake oil thing. It's a real law that works. It's like the law of gravity. And, you can relate it to the Bible, ask and you shall receive. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And not talking about money. If you're a positive, happy, good person, the rich get richer. If you're evil and nasty and trying to screw people over, the poor get poorer. And that's that law of attraction. Once I realized that I was conscious and I can use that, as long as my intent is pure and positive and happy, things are going good now. I got a new job, and I got the right person I'm hanging with in my life that doesn't cuss, drink, or smoke, or get high or anything, man. And so I'm attracting all these good people to me. So, I just switch gears.
And that's
a
big clue. Hulk, that is a big clue, because sometimes when you have a life where it's a party lifestyle and you meet somebody in the party lifestyle, that's not reality. And then all of a sudden, when you think, wow, we got along so well, then you get to reality world. That's when all of a sudden you get to see what's really up. And that's what I got from your book. You met your wife in that lifestyle. You both were living the dream. You were doing what you were doing. She was doing what she was doing. And now you see, wow, that's kind of maybe what that relationship was based on in the first place.
Well, the weird part is, and my daughter said it, Mom's going back to like the day that she met you, Dad, because when I met her, she was driving around the red Corvette doing the one I'm now Valley Girl stuff, and partying. And she was hanging and she raised her kids, and now she's kind of like gone right back to where I met her because, over the weekend she was in town for some depositions, and she's at the beach house and I'm hanging at the other house. And the Clearwater cops called me several times. They had 4 or 5 little Halloween parties there over a 4-day period, and there was no one there older than 21, 22 years old at parties. And it's kind of weird, but, I kind of understand how Linda, who's 51 or 52, wants to kind of like go back and kind of like start over, because with me it was intense. I work 24 hours a day. I just put my head down and go, but it's all cool, man.
Yeah, well, I hope that she's able to get to a place where she can look at her stuff, because if she can look at her stuff like you did, you were forced to look at your stuff at that moment with the gun. If she gets to that place, then maybe the healing can happen. When that happens, I think she's going to see you for who you truly are, like you said, like we got in all of us.
Well, I snapped out of this thing. Like I said, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and this is who I really am now. A lot of people go, oh, man, in the old days you'd have beat this guy's butt, or in the old days Hulk Hogan would have done this. I said, yeah. And they said, well, we don't even recognize you anymore. I said, that's cool, though, but this is who I really am, brother.
Yeah, your connection process, and you're wide open, dude. Your heart is just like, I can feel it right here. You're like, track, bro. You're just right there present with everybody. So.
I hope that your friends and the people that would, love, like you said, from where you grew up, that they can get that this is a good place to go, not that they got to go, forget him. I hope they can sort of be inspired to realize.
Pussy now. Look at him. He cares about people.
Because, like you said, surrender. A real man doesn't fight to solve his problems. A real man fights only when he has to.
Yeah. Well, it's all good, bro. But,
all right, well, I know we got to wrap.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Hulk, thanks for the book. Thanks for spending the time with us, and for going down to Fort Lewis, too. And we do wish you a lot of happiness, but we don't have to, because you already know how to get it anyway. You're on that.
Good, brother. Yeah, this is the second half of the game, brother, and I'm really excited. I had like a temporary situation there, that I had to get through, and there's still, I want everybody to know there's still challenges in life, but that's not your life. Like I said before, it's just a life situation. You work through it. It's another little speed bump, but as long as your intent is positive and happy, you're going to have a good life and attract good things. So that's why I'm jumping back in the wrestling business, bro. I love it.
I'm happy you are.
I want to teach these guys the art form. I'm tired of this programming that's being shoved down people's throats. There's only one choice. So we're going to give the fans a choice, and actually the talent in the business. There's only one place to work now, really. Yeah. So we're gonna light it back up, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you, guys. And
well, listen, you know what? You're always welcome on this show, whether by phone or in person, if you want to rap, man. If you got the free time.
The BJ Shea Morning Experience on 99.9 KISW.